Following veteran minicamp practice and a pair of roster moves today, the Denver Broncos announced that they have officially signed Frank Clark to his one-year, $7.5 million deal with $5.5 million guaranteed, and in a corresponding move, they have waived wide receiver Nick Williams. Williams was a local product. He played for CSU Pueblo, grew up in Aurora, and attended high school at Cherry Creek. So he's hoping to maybe catch on somewhere else. Unfortunately, he didn't last long with his hometown team. As far as Frank Clark is concerned, reading this here from the Denver Broncos website, Clark, a three-time Pro Bowler, spent the previous 4 years of his career with the Chiefs. He recorded 23.5 sacks, 6 forced fumbles, an interception, 59 quarterback hits, and 32 total tackles for loss during that span. He also tallied more than 50 pressures in each of the last 2 seasons. The Michigan product also started 55 regular season games for the Chiefs during his Kansas City tenure, and also started all 12 of the Chiefs' postseason games since 2019. In KC's 2 championship runs in 2019 and 2022, Clark had 5 and 2.5 sacks respectively. A second-round pick in 2015, Clark spent the first 4 years of his career in Seattle. Clark's 13.5 career postseason sacks, including his tenure with Seattle, ranks first amongst active players and third in NFL history. Clark was signed in wake of Baron Browning having to get knee surgery, and it was revealed by Broncos head coach Sean Payton that Browning is going to start the season on the PUP list. He can be activated off the PUP list at any time, but based on the way that Payton was talking there, the team is expecting Baron Browning to potentially miss some regular season time, which absolutely sucks. Hopefully, Frank Clark will be able to fill in that role admirably. Coming over here to take a look at the Denver Broncos wide receiver room after Nick Williams was waived, we're currently rocking with 12 guys. Obviously, at the end of the day, Nick Williams was probably going to be a little more than a camp body to begin with. So now we've got Taylor Grimes, we've got Brandon Johnson, Montrell Washington, who's really on the roster bubble. I'm surprised he wasn't cut, honestly. Little Jordan Humphrey, Kendall Hinton, and Jalen Virgil as sort of your back half 6 guys right here that are all going to compete for maybe the last active roster spot, but more likely the spots on the practice squad for the Denver Broncos. Because for those of you who are not familiar with the new practice squad rules that were implemented in 2020, the Broncos are allowed to call up 2 players from the practice squad in each game, and they're also allowed to have a set number of vested veterans on the practice squad who have been in the NFL for an unlimited number of years. So it's easy to assume that the Denver Broncos are going to add at least 3 wide receivers to the practice squad, so that means 3 of these wide receivers on this list are not going to make the team. If I had to guess right now, the wide receivers that probably will not even sniff the practice squad are going to be Taylor Grimes, Montrell Washington, and unfortunately Brandon Johnson. I had to pick between Brandon Johnson and Jalen Virgil in that situation. Kendall Hinton's probably a lock for the practice squad, same with little Jordan Humphrey, but I feel like Jalen Virgil's shown a little bit more than Brandon Johnson has. That's why I picked him, but I could easily see it going the other way and Jalen Virgil being the odd man out as well. Alright, Broncos country, we got dropped with a lot of news today at Sean Payton's press conference, but I wanted to get this news about the roster moves out sooner. But be on the lookout later tonight. We will have a video about some of the other news about the Denver Broncos today. And also, be sure to tune in Mile High Roundtable Network on YouTube to the 5280 podcast. I will be on there. I am the new 4th co-host over there. Tonight, I believe it's just going to be me and Cameron Parker, maybe somebody else as well. But be sure to join us over there on the 5280 podcast every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. for continuing Denver Broncos coverage. And until next time, guys, this has been another episode of Denver Broncos Syndicate. I am your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.